Donald Trump is not proposing an ethnic cleansing in Gaza. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's what it is.
Hey beautiful people, how you are doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video we want to talk about Donald Trump and the Prime Minister of Israel announcing and holding a press conference talking about how the United States wants to own Gaza and take over Gaza. And for me, that does not make sense. That has struck a big conversation that has gotten a lot of people talking and has struck the entire conversation if this should even be a thing, if this is not ethnic cleansing in the region. And with that all said, guys, let's go check out the press conference, people's reaction to it, and then we'll come back and talk more.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
We're talking tonight about the United States taking over a sovereign territory. What authority would allow you to do that? Are you talking about a permanent occupation there, redevelopment? And Mr. Prime Minister, do you see this idea as a way to expand the boundaries of Israel and to have a longer peace, even though the Israeli people know how important that land is to you and your citizens, just as the space is inherited by the Palestinians as well?
I do see a long-term ownership position, and I see it bringing great stability to that part of the Middle East and maybe the entire Middle East. Yeah. And everybody I've spoken to, this was not a decision made lightly. Everybody I've spoken to loves the idea of the United States owning that piece of land, developing and creating thousands of jobs with something that will be magnificent in a really magnificent area that nobody would know. Nobody can look because all they see is death and destruction and rubble and demolished buildings falling all over. It's just a terrible sight.
Who did it?
I've studied it. I've studied this very closely over a lot of months, and I've seen it from every different angle, and it's a very, very dangerous place to be, and it's only going to get worse. And I think this is an idea that's gotten tremendous, and I'm talking about from the highest level of leadership, gotten tremendous praise. And if the United States can help to bring stability and peace in the Middle East, we'll do that.
What do you guys call this war?
Baby.
I mentioned again tonight our three goals, and the third goal is to make sure that Gaza never poses a threat to Israel again. President Trump is taking it to a much higher level. He sees a different future for that piece of land that has been the focus of so much terrorism, so many attacks against us, so many trials and so many tribulations. He has a different idea. And I think it's worth paying attention to this.
Yeah.
We're talking about it. He's exploring it with his people, with his staff. I think it's something that could change history. And it's worthwhile really pursuing this avenue.
Donald Trump shocked the world last night with his plan for a US-owned Gaza Strip, moving 1.8 million Palestinians away from their homes and then effectively setting up a US long-term ownership of that piece of land, not ruling out using American troops in the process. So why is it so controversial? And more crucially, will he be able to do it? It's controversial straight from the get-go because it is directly in contravention with international law in terms of the forced displacement of people, the deportation of people, the collective punishment of the people of Gaza, making 1.8 million of them move away from their homes, being forced to resettle because of the actions of Hamas. As well as that, some lawyers say that this is a textbook example of planned ethnic cleansing. As well as that, this would also be completely against the US policy for a two-state solution, something that has been the cornerstone of American Middle Eastern policy and global Middle Eastern policy for many, many years now. The plan has been shot down effectively by American allies around the world, including in the Middle East, where countries like Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, as well as Qatar, who have all played a role in the peace talks, the ceasefire talks, have said this would be completely unacceptable and this would be a red line issue for Arab and Muslim countries around the world. All of this was announced on what is only the 16th day of Donald Trump's second presidency. He has been unpredictable, to say the least, thus far. Whether or not he follows through with this idea, which is going to cost billions and billions of dollars, take years and years of planning before it even gets off the ground, and will face huge pushback at an international level, and I'd say even within US politics, that is another matter entirely.
So Trump just sat up there in a podium and said, we will own Gaza. America will own Gaza. We're going to clear it out. We're going to make it beautiful again. It's going to turn into a nice little resort. He didn't say anything about the Palestinians. For all the people that voted for him, look at you now. For all the Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan that shook this man's hand and gave him a plaque and advocated for this man and going against Kamala Harris, how do you feel right now? For all the white leftists that went for Jill Stein and told everybody to sit out this election and to not vote for Kamala Harris, how do you feel now? Maya Ayoni, come to the front. I bet you feel stupid now, don't you? You stupid. You put your hands and your fate into a white woman and she delivered you nothing. Not a damn thing. Y'all were so hateful towards this black woman. Y'all put the whole war of Gaza on this black woman because Joe Biden had dropped out. And look what happened to y'all. Look what happened to y'all. The home is going to be a resort, like I've been saying for the past, 6 or 7 months? Y'all vote for this man, you will not have a home again. I bet you feel real stupid now, don't you? That man said America will own Gaza. We never wanted that shit. Kamala Harris would have never done this shit. I bet you feel stupid for putting your fate into a white woman that rarely runs for anything. She don't run for anything but president. She took y'all money. She advocates every now and then. What you gonna do now? We told y'all could not stop Trump. We told you could not get this man to sway. Y'all were so hateful and so racist towards a black woman that your home is about to be demolished, put into a resort, and now it's going to be the new vacation spot. How do you feel now?
Okay, so I just got home. I was out at dinner, and then I heard that Trump was saying that he wants to take over Gaza. On the way home, I was pretty much thinking different scenarios in my head. I'm like, why would he want to take over the Gaza Strip? It just doesn't, in my head, I'm like, that just doesn't make sense to me. What's in it for the US to take over the Gaza Strip? So I was looking on the maps. I was just on Google Maps looking around in that area, and the only thing that really comes up and pops up in my head was, I just zoomed in. You can see right there on the strip, Gaza's Israel right there. And then I think the only thing that really makes sense is to do a canal right there, the port, go in and build a canal. So that way the US has a canal there that we own, and then we can use it for trading.
No,
and
that's not it.
I don't know. That was just a theory that I have. What do you think? Is that something that's far-fetched, or do you think that's something that he's planning to do? Let me know.
Donald Trump is not proposing an ethnic cleansing in Gaza. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's what it is. He wants the U.S. to take ownership of it, remove the people who are living there by force if needed to Egypt or Jordan. He wants to level it out and rebuild it to what he has called the Riviera of the Middle East. First and foremost, I want to say that this is not a find and find out moment for the Palestinians living in Gaza, because they did not down. They could not vote in this past presidential election. They could not go to the polls. They could not cast a mail-in ballot. But for the so-called pro-Palestinian activists who could participate in this past presidential election, are you ready to admit that the people of Gaza are finding out because you found and spread so much misinformation? Y'all went on and on and on demonizing Kamala Harris, calling her a war criminal, saying that she never spoke up for the people of Palestine, saying that she never called for a ceasefire. Did y'all do any research? If you did, you would see that she was one of the first people to push the White House to be more sympathetic towards Palestinians. This article is from December of 2023. Vice President Kamala Harris has been telling colleagues in the administration, namely Joe Biden being among these officials, that she wants the White House to show more concern publicly for the humanitarian damage in Gaza. March of 2024, Kamala Harris calls for a ceasefire in Gaza. July of 2024, Harris says she will not be silent about humanitarian toll in Gaza. And the reminder that Google is still free. Kamala Harris multiple times called for a ceasefire and a two-state solution. And I know what y'all are going to say. She only said those things because she was running for president. She wanted to look good. Mind you, the first article I showed you was from December of 2023, but okay, pop off, queen. Y'all didn't want to believe Kamala Harris. Y'all didn't want to listen to her. Who then should we listen to? The people of Gaza? Because the Palestinians in Gaza themselves said that they prefer Kamala Harris over Trump. You call yourself a pro-Palestinian activist and say that you care about the people of Gaza, so tell me why, instead of amplifying their voices, did you speak over them? I need your answer quickly. I think that y'all never thought that Trump was actually going to be reelected. Y'all thought that y'all could get on here, say whatever you wanted about Kamala Harris. She would still win the election, and then y'all could use her as your punching bag for the next 4 years. Y'all did not have a plan for if Trump got reelected, and that's why it is crickets from you. You can try to maintain that you are innocent, that you played no part in Trump being reelected. I'm going to hold your hand with a napkin in between when I say this. Call it a J-Lo concert ticket. No one is buying it. Hope this helps. Peace and love. Talk to you later.
Okay, last thing about this press conference with President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. First and foremost, what President Donald Trump said regarding Gaza was insane. How he said that, of course, Gazans wouldn't want to come back to Gaza. It's blown to smithereens. Like, there's nothing there. It looks terrible. You even heard the reporter screaming like, yeah, because y'all blew it up. By y'all, I mean Israel. Y'all, Netanyahu was right there. He was like, yeah, they shouldn't want to come back. We'll find some space for them in Iran, not Iran, excuse me, Jordan, Egypt, somewhere we'll build a nice town, nice community where they'll want to live. Then he gonna say, he said, I've seen every picture from every angle. Better than if I would have been there myself. I know there are high quality pictures that can capture aerial photos that, you may not be able to see if you go there. But to say pictures look better than if you would go and see the rubble and destruction firsthand, that was wild, DT. And then how are you going to say you're going to build Gaza up to be an incredibly nice place, but then also tell Gazans they don't want to come back due to it being destroyed? What sense does that make? And the whole time he's saying this, Netanyahu's just sitting there like, smiling. That's my boy. Get him, DT. Tell him. Tell him. Just imagine you're the leader of a country that wants a piece of an area. You blow it to smithereens and then tell the people who were living there while you were blowing it up saying, yeah, you don't want to come back here. It's disgusting. It's destroyed. This is all rubble. There's nothing here. But then also a leader of another powerful country is saying, yeah, they shouldn't want to live here, but we're going to build some beautiful homes, a beautiful place where people can come visit from all across the world, but they can't live there no more. That probably was the wildest part of this whole press conference. They kind of held two, one fresh after the meeting in the Oval Office, and then the other one was an actual press conference where they were standing up behind podiums answering questions. But whew, I understand Israel's one of our strongest allies as far as loyalty goes, but I do not know what Israel has for us. I know they're our strongest partners in the Middle East, but I do not know what tethers us to them. That one, Netanyahu is the first world leader to come to America during Trump's current term. But what is it about this relationship where we are so tied as if we don't have this relationship with Israel, what happens? Like, why is this shit so, I don't know. Like, why does it seem like we have to have this relationship in order to thrive or strive as a country? I don't get it. But I'm not going to lie. Regardless of how you feel about the Palestinian/Israel conflict, whatever you want to call it, that press conference, that was nasty work. Can't even cap you down.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
I posted a video on November 3rd of 2023. November 3rd of 2023. I get called a lot of things on this app. Fearmonger, race baiter, just recently an authoritative figure in the space. Maybe, just maybe, I know what they're talking about. Maybe, just maybe. But let's roll the clip.
Military operations and trade routes. So the plan it's been proposed, which is to create a new canal that will be owned by Israel, operated and we control Israel, so hand in hand, right? It's called the Ben Gurion Canal. So on the side where the Suez Canal is, it's mostly sand, so they had to dig through that. Where they want to build this Ben Gurion Canal, it's rocky terrain and mountains. So their plan is to basically blow all that shit up. Nuke, bombs, destruction, and then come in and build this canal to cause less work also. The canal start from Eilat, which, like I said, been there, it's pretty nice, and continue on through the Red Sea, through the Mediterranean. Unlike the Suez Canal, the Israeli canal can handle ships going in both directions. The Suez Canal can only go one way. Remember how all those ships got stuck during COVID? That was in the Suez Canal because you can only go one way. You basically got to wait, and that's trade ships, military ships, everybody got to wait until the ships come through, and then they let the other ships go through. So this new canal will be able to allow both. Also, they plan to build, as you can see, hotels, restaurants, small cities, nightclubs, all on the canal to bring for trade routes to bring in more money, economic surplus. The money that it'll bring in will far surpass the $6 billion that the Suez Canal brings, because the Suez Canal is a straight canal. So yeah. So if you ever ask yourself why, this is part of the reason why.
So again, I made that video in November of 2023. It's February 4th, 2025. And that video is pinned in my playlist of my war and news update. So if you want to go learn about the Gurion Canal and everything that will take place, a part of that, it's in that playlist. I think it's video number like 8 or 9. So now that we know that Gaza was a literal demolition and a leveling of the land so they could build this canal, now what? But you know, some people actually like dig and research and look through our historical documentation to find the things they talk about and not just like get on ChatGPT. But you know, hey man.
Wow, there's really so much going on with this Gaza and the United States. But before I go on with the video, let me know down in the comment section, what is that thing that holds the United States and Israel together? Let me know your own take down in the comment section. But as always, please keep it respectful. You're on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a very respectful way. So go ahead, feel free to share your thoughts. For me, it's really sad how everything has panned out. And just like the last creator was talking about, I did a video sometime, I think early 2023, about this same Gaza and Israel thing. And the video was taken there. And the video has something to do with they actually saying that they're trying to wipe out Gaza so that they can use it for a resort, and also that canal, which at that time I actually think like that canal was a stretch, but actually seeing people really explaining the canal and how it's going economically, how it's going to affect and benefit America and Israel, it just really makes sense now. Like, okay, so actually I think now they are actually planning to get the canal and also the resort and make the whole place really touristy so that they can get people and have Israel run it. And for me, I still don't understand what Israel even doing in the Middle East. Like, as they want to kick the original people of Palestine out of their own land, why don't Israel go back to Europe? Because initially, why they were still even in the talk of two states, why now they're talking about telling them not to come back to Gaza? It doesn't make sense. And people coming around talking about how Kamala Harris would have done better. Yes, do I think she would have done better? Will I think she would have delayed this plan 100%? Do I think she would have kind of tried to do something about it 100%? But I feel like this whole plan of Israel taking over Gaza and kicking out the Palestine and doing ethnic cleansing, as that is what it is, I feel like it's a plan that has been on for years, that the America has always wanted to insert themselves in the Middle East so that they can have some kind of power by having Israel there and not wanting Israel to leave. Because I don't understand, Israel is the only country that is fighting with almost every country in the Middle East, and yet they originally don't belong there. Their state was founded by the world, whatever, and yet they're causing so much trouble. Rather than then saying that, you know what, let's find a land for them in Europe or even in America, and so that they can go back to where they originated from, they rather kick out the original people of the land, which is the Palestine, off the land so that the Israel can exist. And there was a couple of videos then of the video I posted about that incident that was taken down. My channel was flagged because you guys know how powerful the Jews and the Israel, you guys know how powerful they are, and I hope this video too is not taken down. But yeah, they take down anything that does not align with them and call it anti-Semitism and all that. But the truth is that these people are who they are, and we know the history now. Over years, they've camouflaged the history with religion and other, but now people really know it, and it really breaks my heart how even the Middle East are even allowing this to happen. When I say the Middle East, I'm talking about the other countries are in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Iran, Iraq. I know the Iraq government tried give them back to back, but for me, I don't see how these people eventually allow the Europeans to exist in middle of them. So, like I was saying, it doesn't make sense why they are even like, why are they even somebody make it make sense for me, because looking at history and seeing how Israel insect themselves and how they came into the Middle East and now they are not living, and yet they are kicking the original people and literally killing them, because Trump is talking about how Gaza is unlivable when it was bombs from the US. US was one that was financing Israel to destroy that, and from the get-go, it has been said that that was the aim. There's not like, yes, there might be group trying to fight back to get their land, but they tag them terrorists so that they can use the opportunity to destroy Gaza and get it to work for what they are. And for me, when it comes to election with the Trump and Kamala Harris and the jail lady, it was really a dicey, like for me, not even a dicey situation for me, because we all know Trump was not it. The fact that a lot of people, and I even saw some people, which I did a video on that too, talking about some Arabs talking about how they would rather prefer, that they would rather prefer Trump than Kamala Harris, because Kamala Harris is a woman and a black woman. For me, like, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this video down in the comment section. Your thoughts. What do you think that the people can do? What do you think we can do? And how do you think we can solve this madness that is going on? Because this is literally just killing people. Anyway, guys, go on and share your thought about this video down in the comment section. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversations, so go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.